Okay, hey guys, it is December the 3rd. I just checked that and still had to check it again. And this is tonight's team call. So I'm filling in for Emily tonight because she's not feeling so well. Um, and I feel like I really always talk to you guys about personal development because I think I've kind of found my niche with it. Niche. I don't know how you say it, but that's what I found with it. Um, and it's kind of something that I really uh, dove into lately. I said I was going to read 10 books by the end of the year, and I'm still kind of far from that because I actually had to take my time with the book that we're going to talk about. So I want to talk to you guys about, this is called, I hope you can see that with my light, The Charge by Brendon Burchard. It's a really, really good book. It's called The Charge. It says activating 10 human drives that can make you feel alive. And it's all about doing things that make you have what he calls a charged life, or giving you the most fulfillment out of your life. I know I've referenced a lot of his podcasts and suggested a lot of you listen to them, and now I'm suggesting that you read his book. If you go to his website, brendonburchard.com, he gives it to you for free as long as you pay shipping. So it's like $7 for shipping. It's really not bad in the big scheme of things, considering the book's $26. And it just, I don't know, this was like a vision board dream overhaul book for me. So I'm kind of going to walk you guys through. Look, I still have my note cards in here, so bear with me. I'm kind of going to just talk about some of my the stuff I underlined, the stuff I highlighted. So what Brendon Burchard says is there's 5 baseline drives that make you feel fulfilled, and then 5 forward drives. So the baseline drives are control, competence, congruence, caring, and connection. And your 5 forward drives are change, challenge, creative expression, contribution, and consciousness. So everything in this book, if you heard anything from all those C's, is mental. Everything is mental. You want to feel controlled, or you want to feel that you have control of your life and that you are not doing things because somebody else has forced you to do it. It's legitimately something that you want to do. And if you read the book, he has so many examples that he uses of times where he felt emotionally controlled, times where he felt controlled in certain situations, but it just goes on to tell you about the different kinds of control in your life. You can be controlled in a cage. He calls it a caged life, where I actually talked with Katie Hefner about this. You don't really feel like you're in a caged life, but if you're like me and you're working a day job and you're working 9 to 5 banker's hours, just trying to pay your bills, you're kind of caged to that life because you're making yourself do that every day. You're stuck there, you know? And there's just, so many tips. I don't even know what to separate out for you guys. One control activator that I really stood out to me was control for new. It says that we want new things in our lives. If you're not constantly putting new stuff into your life, and that doesn't mean go out and spend $100 on something brand new, but if you're not constantly trying something new or doing something new, then you're going to feel bored with life. So one of his suggestions is to plan a trip every 90 days. It's called the 90-day getaway. Every 90 days, you schedule to take a vacation, whether it be a vacation mentally or physically. And he suggests a physical vacation, he says, because after 90 days, you and your spouse probably need one. But he says it's just 4 times a year. It sounds like a lot, but it's just once a quarter, really. So you just take a vacation, get away, go to the mountains, go to the beach, go do something, but it's something new. Another one he suggests is taking a restaurant tour once a week, which is pretty cool. You get to I don't know if you've ever done a restaurant tour. I did one when I lived in Jamestown around Mayville. And you just get to, you buy a ticket and you go to different restaurants in the area. It's pretty cool. Travel adventures. Jess, you will never have a bored life because I always see your travel adventures on your Facebook. So keep doing that. Expanding your peer circle. So if you make new friends, that's a good way to have new things in your life. And then skill development, learning a new skill. Now, something cool about this when I read this was that learning a new skill doesn't have to mean you're undertaking this whole new project, because that can be tedious, time-consuming, and quite overwhelming. And if you overwhelm yourself, you're not going to be living a fully charged life. So something that he didn't say in here, but that resonated with me and that I kept thinking about was like, for me, my new skill that I've been working on is being a better leader for you guys. So I dove into personal development, and I have found this book, another book called The 21 Most Powerful Minutes in a Leader's Day. It's a once-a-day devotion and leadership lesson based in the Bible. So if you're looking for a really good leadership book, it's awesome. So working on my leadership for me is my new skill, but I definitely suggest, Jess.
What is that called again?
The 21 Most Powerful Minutes in a Leader's Day. It's by John Maxwell. It's a 21-week devotion. It's a devotional and a leadership lesson at the same time. And it's 21 weeks long, and you do it for 5 days a week. So it's just like Monday through Friday for 21 weeks. I'm doing it right now, and Melissa Gifford's reading it with me. We're on week 2, day 3. So that's cool. And then something else, one of the other drives that that resonated with me was the drive for congruence. That's something that I really think that we can take heart with in our business, because we preach things, but are you doing it every day? Like, are you saying, okay, work out every day following the Insanity workout plan, and you're telling your customers to work out every day following the Insanity workout plan, but are you doing that? Are you telling your customers to drink Shakeology every day and you're not drinking Shakeology every day? That's a lack of congruence. If you say you're going to do something, then do it, is basically what that drive says. So when I was reading about it, I really read and thought about it, and a lot of what he says is just do what you say you're going to do, keep your word, and be the person that you say you want to be. And another thing about congruence is, have you ever heard Emily, the real Emily Myrick, say that that if you want to be a diamond, then act like a diamond. If you want to be an emerald, act like an emerald. That's part of being congruent. If that's where you want to be, then that's where you should act like you are. You're being congruent with who you are now, but where you want to be in the future too. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. I don't want to not make sense. And then the other one I'm going to talk to you guys about that really stood out for me was one of the 5 forward drives, and it's called the Drive for Challenge. That was kind of crazy for me, because if you think about Beachbody coaching, it's all a challenge for us. If you really think about it, every day you're going out and you're trying to talk to new people, and that's a challenge, because what if your list runs out? And you're trying to make your challenge groups stay motivated, and that's a challenge, because what if nobody's posting? But what if you challenged yourself to learn something new this week and apply it? So my challenge for myself, and I was talking to Megan about it a little bit, was I read this whole book cover to cover, acknowledgments and everything. I cried, I laughed. This book tore my nerves up because it was so great. And Brendon Burchard just writes in such a way that makes you want to just go. And one of my challenges to myself, I've been going every morning when I get up, as long as I get up in time before I have to be to work 15 minutes from now. I go through a chapter in the book and I pick out one thing that I could apply to my life today and use it today. So that's been something, and maybe that's not, you haven't read The Charge, but maybe that's something that you could do in your life to not only establish more of a challenge for yourself, but establish more congruence in your life and help you live a fully charged life. I'm not going to give away all the details of this book because it's awesome and I want you guys to read it. But does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add?
A lot of his stuff is like from the podcast that I've listened to. It's all about like you are where you are, but even where you are, like always thinking about the future and thinking about like an alternative. I don't know, like an alternative existence. Like, even if you are what you said in like a caged life. I know I listened to the one and it's like, even if you're there, think about the idea, what I was taking notes, like the drive for challenge. So like, even if you are stuck at a day job, like always be thinking about like, be as nice as you can to these people, even if you feel stuck, you're always like making new friends or, to help you get further in the path that you desire for your life, right? I mean, like a lot of his stuff is kind of like envisioning and focusing on what could be versus what, I don't know, the world kind of chokes you with, that type of thing, right, Nina?
Yeah. He prides himself on being one of the top motivators in the high performance industry, and he really is. One activity that I did, and it helps you envision where you want to be in your relationships. Thanks, Megan. It helps you envision where you want to be in your relationships, but it kind of goes along the lines of him envisioning things. So it's like a 3-page thing, but he asks you to define different relationships. Okay, so what defines a happy and deeply connected family relationship to you? And then you write all this down, and he says, well, what would you have to change to make your family relationship happily and deeply connected? What would you have to change to deepen that relationship in this area? And he asks you that about your friendships, your intimate relationships, and even your coworkers and peers. So that was I actually decided for some reason to open the notes that I pulled out of my book, and that was what I opened, and it kind of just went along with what you were saying, is that he really wants you to envision where you're going so that you can see what you need to do to get there. Anybody else? Has anybody listened to his podcast?
I haven't.
You definitely should. He's great.
I started listening to a couple of them.
Who is it again?
Brendan Burchard.
Oh,
Nina loves him.
I do. He's my mentor, and he's gonna find me and him. We're gonna meet someday. Someday, I'm going, but it's gonna happen.
I really want to meet Sagi with my Body Beast deal. He's actually in one of my Body Beast groups right now, and he responds to people sometimes. So like, people keep talking about if a Body Beast women's DVD is gonna come out, and every time they do, I'm like, I want to be the woman on there. I want to be in it. I don't know if he sees me saying that, but I hope he does.
Adam actually bumped into him at Summit. He actually walked into Adam at Summit when we went 2 years ago. We were coming out of the arena or whatever, and the super freaking jacked short guy bumps into her, and I look at Em, and Em looks at me, and we both look at him, and then we both look back at each other, and we're like, what? And this is before, I'm pretty sure, maybe Body Beast just came out. I don't know, but yeah, he seems so I don't know, cool. That's
Cool.
I had a quick question for you guys. This goes along with what Nina you were talking about, but like, how many times a day do you guys think about your future and like your goals? Like, I feel like I think personally about like the future that I envision for myself, like probably like 20 to 30 times a day, and it's always the same thing that I envision. Do you guys find yourself doing that a lot too?
Yeah, for sure.
Look, when I drive down the road, it's like I'm like zoning here. It's bad.
Yeah.
Shouldn't daydream my drive, guys. I'm
Is
gonna.
Laura still there? Did she get up? Cassandra, you're there. I don't know who the black screen is.
Okay, if nobody has any questions, I'm gonna stop the recording, but we can chill.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Okay.